Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be doing a little game reaction to the Bulls suffering a pretty tough loss versus the Los Angeles Clippers last night. Obviously, they were shorthanded without Coby White, and that's kind of my main takeaway from this loss is that the Chicago Bulls, if they have any playoff aspirations, they need to get Coby White back. We had that report yesterday on the channel coming in from Woj that he should be back this Saturday. But overall, watching the game yesterday, the Bulls can't afford to lose him for many more games. But before we dive into it, guys, I got to make sure you guys are subscribed here to the Bulls Report. We are closing in on 6,000 subscribers. I can't believe we're actually saying that. So shout out to the 5,950 of you who have already hit that sub button. Maybe there are 50 of you guys who haven't hit that sub button yet. If you guys haven't, lock us in. We'll keep you up to date with the latest around everything on the Chicago Bulls. But let's dive into it. So the Bulls did lose to the Clippers in a 15-point loss yesterday. And listen, I think this was just a typical game where it's just like, the talent kind of gap between the two ball clubs was huge. I mean, the Clippers were able to get it going from downtown, shooting 20 of 40 from three-point land. Very, very solid, obviously. And the Bulls last night, I mean, they shot the ball well too, but there was just a huge gap in just the overall talent on the two rosters. And overall, I just felt like the Bulls the whole game just couldn't keep up their pace with the Los Angeles Clippers team. I did think, though, the Bulls were moving the ball pretty well, hence why they had 28 assists on 41 made shots. But just watching this Clippers team, man, I mean, they got title aspirations, obviously, over there in Los Angeles, and they were moving the ball well. You saw that top-end talent that they had in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and those guys just absolutely balled out for the Los Angeles Clippers. But I kind of want to zero in on a couple of players here for the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan yesterday was not one of his better games over the past couple of weeks. He has been on an absolute tear over the West Coast trip. He's actually the favorite right now to win Clutch Player of the Year in the NBA. And just overall, DeMar didn't have his best stuff from the mid-range. He kept getting to that spot. That's the one thing with DeMar DeRozan that I love is, like, it always comes down to him making or missing. However, with the thing with DeMar DeRozan is that, like, when he does get to that spot and he is missing that mid-range, he can just really, really struggle. But, overall, I did expect, kind of a clunker from DeMar, following his hot streak, but still was able to put up decent numbers, 25, 5, and 4 on the night. This guy, though, Torrey Craig, been a pretty damn good signing for Chicago. And, I called Torrey Craig when the Bulls signed him. He was the guy that was going to get him better on the margins. Well, last night he showed that. He did his best trying to guard Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. He was mixed and matched on those two, kind of taking the other one that Caruso was not guarding. But offensively, knocked down his 4 threes on 7 opportunities, had 12 points, 6 boards. Overall, I like what Torrey Craig's doing. He signed him in on that mid-level exception, so you did not really expect too much. Kick it to the big fella, man in the paint for Chicago, Nikola Vucevic. Hey, I'll tell you what, Vuce over the last month and a half has completely turned his game around. Scored 20 last night on 6 boards, 5 assists. I love the part of Vuce's game that he's starting to develop over the second half of the season is when he's running that pick and roll with either Coby White or Ayo Dosunmu. They get the Vuce off that screen, and he's got an option. It's either attack the rim, hit that little push shot, or kick it out to a shooter, hence why he had 5 assists. Thought he's been making pretty good decisions on that standpoint. So Vuce got really no problems with them. I mean, again, the biggest reason why the Bulls lost this game was because of no Coby White. It just stinks because you you kind of soured a game where Alex Caruso, for example, had 17 points on 5 of 8 from downtown. I thought Caruso was great last night. Again, it was just a tough matchup for him. You're going against Kawhi Leonard. You're going against Paul George. Like, those are the two of the best kind of ISO scorers in the league. But the Clippers, they're moving the ball really, really well yesterday. And Caruso, got beat a couple times. But, hey, man, following his 6 of 7 from downtown performance the night before against the Indiana Pacers, came back home to Chicago, kept that hot hand, and shot 5 of 8 from downtown. Ayo Dosunmu, one of his worst games of the season, in my opinion. He has been, great for the Bulls. I got no complaints from what Ayo's been doing, but last night just couldn't really find the jump shot to fall. I felt like he was getting to the rim really well. He was getting to his spots, but it just came down to, him converting on his jump shots and him converting around the rim. Wasn't able to get the most out of him last night, so a down Ayo game. If you would have got a good Ayo game and Coby White would have played, I'll tell you what, Bulls would have beat LA last night. But my man OB, or Nurulop Bitum, the man from Turkey, our rookie, again, he just didn't really do much last night. He's been kind of fighting in that rotation about getting 10 minutes a game. I'll tell you what, there may not be, a player in the league that plays harder than this guy does right here. He just flies around defensively, always giving his best. Speaking about another guy who flies around defensively, thought Dalen Terry is pretty good, the second-year man out of Arizona. Flew around really well, played really hard yesterday, but overall the Bulls just didn't really have the personnel to match up with the Clippers personnel. I thought Drummond off the bench was pretty damn good yet again. Drummond did struggle against the Indiana Pacers. He only got 10 minutes that game, which was actually, I believe it had to have been damn near a season low since him and Vooch have been really starting to play a good amount of minutes here. But Drummond, he's great. Got no complaints around him. He just fights every single possession. And, Drummond's one of those guys where it's like, I call him a foxhole guy, where it's just like, he's one of those dudes where it's like you see him working hard, it makes you work hard, and I just love the energy and tenacity he plays with. Javon Carter, though, he's really turned around. Ever since he had that kind of Ben Simmons-esque moment where he had a wide-open layup, literally nobody around him, and he froze in midair and he kicked it out, he's been playing his ass off. So he had 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists last night, 2 of 3 from downtown. Overall, Javon Carter, the Chicago kid, thought he's been a pretty damn good signing. But we're going to get into the Clippers side of things and just overall dive into, the Bulls just didn't really have the personnel to match up with the Los Angeles, but shout out to Factor. They're sponsoring today's edition of the Bulls Report. If you guys go to factormeals.com/BullsChat50, we'll hook you guys up with 50% off. What is Factor Meals? Well, they are 2-minute meals that will help you fuel up fast, and they are ready to heat and eat wherever you are. They got pancakes, smoothies, and more. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. There's no prep. There's no mess meals. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. It's flexible for your schedule. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every single week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. Factor is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, premium options with no cooking required. Sign up and save today. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. Head to factormeals.com/BullsChat50. Use that promo code BullsChat50 to get 50% off. One more time, that's code BullsChat50 at factormeals.com/BullsChat50. Get that 50% off. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. So a big reason why the Bulls did lose last night is you let this man damn near go perfect from the field yesterday. Paul George was cooking, man. And it's one of those things where it's like when PG sees the first couple shots go in, I call it the blackout factor that a lot of the top NBA players have, where it's like if they see the first couple shots go in, all they're seeing is back rim for the rest of the night. Doesn't matter how good of defense you play. I mean, Caruso, like countless shots, was up in Paul George's grill. Paul George just rise up and shoot over the top. He was cooking yesterday, 28-7 from my man PG-13. Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the fact that they're able to run Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, still one of the best 1-2 combos in the league, in my opinion. Big reason why they're third in odds to win the NBA title this year. But he was cooking as well, similar to Paul George. Saw his first couple jumpers go in. And I believe him and Paul George were, I think it combined, like, they were shooting around like 80% or so in the first half, or around those numbers. So they completely blitzed the Bulls at the beginning of the game. It's a very tough matchup, especially when you don't have Coby White. You don't have Patrick Williams, that point of attack wing defender, to really guard Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. We only got one Caruso, and you can only do a number on one of them, but, those two just got comfortable here early. Zubac, the stats don't show it, which is incredibly disappointing, but he was dominating Vooch all game yesterday. I know 6 points, 8 rebounds, it's not really going to blow you away, but I thought he was great throughout the game yesterday. Just those big physical centers of like that Zubac, Nurkic, who's on the Suns, like his style of play, his style of center, like those big 7-footers who got a lot of mass on them. Like they have always gave Vooch problems. Terrence Mann, one of my favorite role players that the Clippers had, he knocked down a couple of big shots for Los Angeles yesterday, tallying in 12 points. If you get 12 points from Terrence Mann, plus the games you get from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, Clippers are one of the more tough teams to beat in the league. And then who would have thought this guy would have been the leading assist man in the game yesterday? Bones frickin' Highland, man. He's that six-man type of Lou Will style of point guard where it's like he's going to get his and he's going to get other guys involved. That's exactly what he did last night. He was cooking the Chicago Bulls. 17 points, 11 assists, 6 of 9 from the field, and 4 of 7 from downtown. Hey, Clippers are 20 of 40 from deep. So obviously you get 4 threes from Bones. Then you also get 3 threes from Norman Powell. Well, actually, fun fact, Norman Powell is the highest points per closeout guy in the entire league. That's why the Clippers are so damn good, because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are just able to get that defense in rotation. Defense starts flying around. Then when you're closing out fast on Norman Powell, it's either he's rising up and knocking down the open shot, or he is taking that one dribble and getting to the rim and finishing. That's what he did all last night. Daniel Tice, he was pretty good yesterday. Really did a solid job of just, messing around with Drum on when he is on offense and Drummond's on defense. He was able to beat him off the dribble a couple times, get a couple easy buckets in key spots. But Tice overall wasn't really that impactful. But then Amir Coffey. Amir Coffey had 3 threes from downtown last night. And if you're getting 3 from him, 4 from Powell, 3 from Bones Highland, adding on top of what Paul George is doing and what Kawhi Leonard was doing last night, Clippers are pretty unbeatable. But overall, Bulls lose 126-111 in I don't want to say it was a heartbreaking loss, because obviously there's no Coby White and all of that, but definitely did hurt because the Bulls are kind of riding that momentum of potentially nabbing a playoff spot. But let me ask you guys this. Will the Chicago Bulls make the playoffs? Not the play-in tournament. Will we be playing the Boston Celtics in round 1? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comment section. I'm still typing my Ys. I think we're going to beat Atlanta in the first play-in tournament game. Then we're going to go to Indiana and ruin Tyrese Halliburton and his playoff aspirations. So give me a Y for yes or an N for no if the Bulls will be playing some playoff basketball. Tell you what, guys, if we get any more updates around the Coby White injury, I'll drop whatever I'm doing. I'll make a video for you guys ASAP. Hit that subscribe button, lock us in. Bulls tough loss to the Clippers last night. Don't think it's the end of the world. Thought overall they played pretty solid. Just couldn't match them for talent. But Bulls need Coby White back. Hopefully return Saturday against the Wizards. But see you guys next time. See y'all soon. Go Bulls.